West Denver. Sleep deprived and heavily caffeinated.
All right, let's do this then.
This is the Jeff and Bill Show.
I don't understand why this is an issue.
They don't always agree, but hey, at least they have coffee.
Coffee.
And each other.
I love you, man.
God help us.
I want to bless him. We need all the help we can get.
Now here's Jeff Hunt and Bill Thorpe. The Jeff and Bill Show on News Talk 710 KNUS.
Six a.m. in the Mile High City on this Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025. Good morning, Denver, Colorado. You've tuned into the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Bill Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights, hottest takes from the right, left, and center. America's red, Colorado's blue. It all meets right here on the Jeff and Bill Show. And boy, do we have a great lineup for you today. We're going to talk with Gabe Evans a little bit later in the show, 8 o'clock hour, as he gives us his take on the big, beautiful bill passing out of the Senate, heading back over to the House. Will it get through the House? Can Donald Trump get this across the finish line by July 4th? We'll get the latest from him in the 8 o'clock hour. Brandy Bradley, state representative here in Colorado, is making a move to become the new whip in the Republican caucus down at the state capitol, as Ryan Armagost has announced he is moving to Arizona. So some movement taking place within state Republican circles. We'll talk with Brandy in the 9 o'clock hour. Plus, we're going to cover Bob Vylan, this band out of the UK that led some quite anti-Semitic chants in the UK, now having its visas rescinded here in America, so they are not going to be doing their tour at this point in America, plus a lawsuit to try to stop doctor-assisted suicide in the state of Colorado. What is it all about? Plus news and so much more. Most importantly, though, your voices. So give us a call, 303-696-1971, or text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115, 720-819-5115. Speaking of coffee this morning, very proud to welcome new sponsors to the Jeff and Bill Show. Cato's Coffee, premium coffee roasted to order, ensuring you get the freshest cup possible. Pet and planet friendly. When you purchase this, you're supporting pups, little doggies, and animals welfare, eco-friendly practices with every purchase. Your morning cup contributes to positive change for pets and the environment as well. Delicious flavor profiles, expertly roasted for a smooth, flavorful experience every time. If coffee's not your thing, try their delicious tea. You shop online for Cato's Coffee as well as merchandise. You can find something for your little furry friend there too. Upgrade your morning ritual with Cato's Coffee. Visit catoscoffee.com. That's spelled K-A-T-O-S-K-O-F-F-E. So the Cato is named after the founder's dog, Cato with a K. K-A-T-O-S. And then coffee is spelled with a K as well. KOFFEE.com. Find something to suit your taste today. And if you use the code Jeff and Bill 10, Jeff and Bill 10 at the checkout, you can get a 10% discount for your order.
Oh, that's awesome. That is really cool.
Thank you, Cato's Coffee, for keeping this show moving.
Yeah, thank you, Cato's Coffee. And we're going to have to order some. Jeff and I have neither tried it, but I think Jeff was going to place an order this morning. I'm going to try this afternoon. Got to check out some of those teas. My family's a big tea fan, so we'll see.
Are they?
Oh, yeah. I think we've got, and I can count 4 or 5 different varieties of tea that we have. A bunch of matcha, a bunch of Earl Grey, a lot of chai tea. Yeah, it gets rather ridiculous. Lots and lots and lots of tea in the house. So I'm going to have to check out what they did. And I'm also super curious about where he got the name Cato. Is it an O.J. Simpson reference? Is it from the Green Hornet? We're going to have to see if we can get him on. And I was so curious about how he came up with the name of that dog, because Cato's a neat name, but an unusual name, not one that you normally hear. So, yeah, I'm excited.
And Billy and I both love our dogs. So
yes.
Coffee that supports dogs.
Oh, yeah, of course. This is going to be awesome. How'd you choose the name for your dogs? Questions. Just
so, because we have so many.
Yes.
They are named in particular batches. So we raise...
sense. Yeah, because you raise them, so it's a
we
total
raise
different
Colorado
thing
Mountain Dogs, and these are working guardian livestock dogs. These are not dogs that come in the house. They actually live out in the fields with your goats and your sheep, and we train them with our chickens, we train them with our goats, and then they're sold to ranches all over the Western United. I mean, people come in from Montana, Utah, Wyoming. They stay in a hotel. They pick up the dog. They drive back. It's a big thing.
Oh, yeah.
So they've gone in groups where we name the entire litter after Colorado 14ers, for instance.
Oh, nice.
So you have
that's
a
cool.
Tory and
that's
Grays
fantastic.
and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes.
The current group are named after Disney characters.
Oh, that's
so we
awesome.
have Hercules, we have Snow White, we have
that's
Belle,
great.
we have all that stuff. So
that's fantastic.
There's dogs all over our place right now. I think there's
our dog's Arya
15 or
from
something.
Arya of Game of Thrones, and the only thing that I'm going to take credit for is that we named the dog Arya before she became a cool character. When she was still the lost little lamb, that's when we named her, because she was kind of when we had picked her up, and it was a rescue, and she was in with 3 of her brothers. And they were obviously the dominant males, and she was the female, and they were kind of picking on her. So that's why she really got that name of Arya, because she was viewed as kind of the smaller, the sheepish one, the one that wasn't, in the group. And even the breeder talked about that. So, that was one of the things we were like, So we went in there and did that.
Well, Suzanne's wanted to know how your dog's doing.
Oh, Suzanne, thanks. Not good. Spent some time outside on the lawn last night, and spent 10 minutes outside on the lawn with her this morning. Had to carry her out. She's still immobile. It's not good. Spirits are better, but we got a liver problem right now with enzymes, so she can't take a lot of the anti-inflammatories and painkillers that you normally give to dogs, because the liver filters that, and they're worried about side effects. So without doing anything else more invasive to find out what's going on with the liver, she's on some medication that should help balance that out. And once we see that, then she can have more of the pain pills. But until then, it's a tough one. But at least she understands now. We have a conversation. I talked to her about what's going to happen. I'm going to pick her up. We're going to go outside and go potty. And she doesn't try to bite me as much as she used to. And the thing is, she will bite everybody else. But me, she just, it's the thing where she puts the teeth on you but doesn't try to break skin. She's just like, I'm letting you know. But if I tell her what we're doing, she's like, okay. But she's not happy about it, and I'm not either. But thanks, Suzanne. Appreciate that.
Suzanne writes, her Shiba is Imiku Shinyu.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Imiku Shinyu. Wow. That's going to be a pretty dog. That's a really pretty dog.
Cato, with Cato's Coffee, that's who we're talking about right now, new sponsor of the show. Steve's the owner, and his dog, Cato, Kato, is a bull terrier. Looks like Spud McKenzie.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Cool.
Okay, I can't. That's the dog that after Arya passes, my wife wants next, a bull terrier, because it's like a 3-year-old in a dog suit. That's really what it is. It's a toddler that runs around all the time. They are hilarious dogs, and they're wonderful, and they're great family dogs. They are really, really funny dogs. They've got ridiculously silly personalities. Yeah. They're kind of like at times they're like a corgi on espresso. They are a handful. They're a lot of fun. So that's so cool. That is awesome. I can't wait to learn about Cato.
Thank you to Steve and Cato's Coffee for sponsoring us. Go to Cato's Coffee, KATOS, KOFFEE.com, and use the code Jeff and Bill 10 at checkout for a 10% discount. They've got beans, but then they've also got the little cake cup pods if you need those as well.
They're the potty
That's
things,
what I use. All right. Let's get to news and comment with Mr. Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Good morning. It's Wednesday. 59 degrees and clear in Denver, expecting a high of 93 today. News is presented by the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. Now is the time to stand with Israel. Call 800-301-1188. That's 800-301-1188. 1188, or go to 710knus.com and click on the big red Stand with Israel banner at the top of the page. Our top story: one person has been hospitalized after an officer-involved shooting in Montbello. It happened in the 4300 block of North Del Rio Court just before 11 last night. Police Chief Ron Thomas says two officers found a group of people in the street with an object used to shoot fireworks, mortars, into the air. A man reportedly pulled a gun from his waistband and was shot in the leg. He was taken to the hospital in serious condition. Investigation is underway. Republican House leaders want the so-called Big Beautiful Bill on DJT's desk by Friday, if possible. The Senate narrowly passed the BBB Tuesday morning. House Speaker Mike Johnson said that he is not sure Republicans will have full attendance for a vote this morning, as some lawmakers have not made it back to D.C. due to storms across the country. DJT says Israel has agreed to a 60-day ceasefire in Gaza. Paramount, CBS's parent company, agrees to a $16 million settlement in President Trump's lawsuit over the edited 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Khan. Remember that one? Another victory for DJT and this administration. UPenn, they cave, they get drowned after federal investigation into Leah Thomas will now enforce DJT's mandate to ban men from women's sports. Riley Gaines made it all happen. She's been fighting for this for years. Trans UPenn swimmer Leah Thomas will be stripped of his titles thanks to the Trump administration. 47 also forcing UPenn to issue apologies to the women who lost to Thomas. The college will be required to restore all their Division I swimming records and titles to the biological women who lost to Thomas. And the 47 administration cut off $175 million in federal funds. A fireworks warehouse exploded Tuesday in Northern California, rocking the town of Esparto and sparking a wildfire about 40 miles north of Sacramento. Fire crews have been working through the night to put out hot spots, with a 1-mile evacuation zone still in place. And DJT threatening to arrest New York City mayoral candidate Zoran Mankami if he interferes with immigration enforcement. Ice, ice, baby.
We don't need a communist in this country, but if we have one, I'm going to be watching over him very carefully on behalf of the nation. We send him money. We send him all the things that he needs to run a government. A lot of people are saying he's here illegally. He's, we're going to look at everything. And ideally, he's going to turn out to be much less than a communist. But right now, he's a communist. That's not a socialist. I've always said we will not have socialism in this country. In the speeches, I said, well, what? They skipped socialism. And you get a lot of them like that.
Boy, isn't that the truth? Funeral plans are set for televangelist Jimmy Swaggart, who passed away Tuesday at the age of 90. 60 in Lone Tree, 59 in North Glen, 61 in Denver. Jeff and Billy Show continues. And a beautiful morning as we get ready for
morning golf clap.
Oh man, there's nothing like golf claps,
By
especially
the way,
in the summertime.
Blake,
right?
you are looking fantastic.
Oh yeah,
saying
does it look
fantastic,
okay?
as some might say.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look great. New camera.
Yeah,
all that stuff, huh?
Does it look okay? I'm not green.
No, it looks.
We can fix that for you if you want. We can tint it back here. There are filters Adam's got down the hall.
Hey, you know what?
Look at the three of us. Oh, look at that.
I can't
Awesome.
see it. I don't have
Handsome gentleman.
Oh, that's not right.
Well, I'm
Not
glad Eric
This
is
show
one of our
is
engineers. I
right
got
now too cisgender. I'm looking.
Is it?
I'm looking at us, and it's just all white male patriarchy right here.
I don't identify as a white male.
The compulsion for me, since we're calling attention to us doing things on air, for me to do something awkward is almost just.
Come on, Bill, spice it up a little bit.
No,
We have one
I'm
more
not
day
going
and
to
then
because it's going to be
vacation.
recorded. No.
Hey, I wanted to ask you guys,
Totally want to.
Eric Hood, the engineer at our station, who
he's
is
awesome.
outstanding. He came up
that
here.
bro is next level,
Yeah,
man.
dude's
Oh my
amazing.
goodness! And Mark Crowley's awesome, but they switched everything up in here. So I am so. I trained myself to use this Apple computer,
Yes.
right? And I'm doing this Windows stuff right now. Oh my God! I cannot get from left to right on the computer. Every button that I hit is wrong. It's like exploding in front of my face. That is the most
Yes.
difficult thing to transition. Speaking of
Oh,
transition,
it is. It is.
right?
It's so
Isn't it?
going from Apple to Windows. Nice transition joke there too. Or going from Apple to like an Android phone. That's a whole nother language. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Okay, now I have a phone that the station provides for me for the show, and then I've got a private phone, but one's an Apple, one's a Samsung. And I can't navigate the Apple phone very well. I can do certain things, but I am not an Apple native. I'm a Samsung native.
I'm not an Apple guy either.
Yeah, and so
Really?
I'll come over, and most of my family are on Apples for phones, and they'll come over and say, "Hey, this." I'm like, I'm not an Apple
Oh,
native.
you're
I
the
have
green
no
bubble
idea.
in the family.
Yeah, it's myself and my oldest.
So
We're the only two that are still
difficult.
Samsung. Yeah, the rest of the family's gone all Apple, and so yeah,
Really?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's so weird
So
because
hard.
I knew how to use this stuff like 20 years ago, and then I forced myself to retrain my mind. And man, the past 7 hours, I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
That is a great example. That's something that I have been struggling with. There is this
Old
point
man
where
complaining.
yes,
Yes.
it is.
On right
It's the
there.
old, this is old man complaints. And it's weird. There's a certain time in your life where technology is really, really easy to adapt, and you're like,
Yeah.
how come the old people can't figure this out? How come
Yes.
the VCR is still
Yes.
blinking noon? Come on, mom and dad and grandpa. This is so easy
Exactly.
to change. And now you're like, how come I can't save this file? Yeah.
Right.
And there's a different point for all of us, but there's a point in which, like, I don't understand technology anymore. And it
Right.
becomes very difficult. And it surprises you because you think you're doing fine. And then something changes
Exactly.
and you're exposed to new technology. And you're like, oh, this is not good. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's awful.
I've been
Yes.
in broadcasting for 40 years, and my
Yes.
ninth grader has to, turn the
Yes.
game on for me. I don't know how to get
to find
to
the
it.
sources. Yeah, and you're like, I used to know how to balance out a Marty signal that required where you had to combine two different
exactly.
phone lines. This was
Yes.
difficult. Not
Yes.
clicking a button on a remote to find an app.
Right.
Yeah, but somehow that's too difficult. It's just
Two sound like the two old Muppets.
Yes, we are. We're
Yes,
the
we
old
are.
men in the balcony.
yes, 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 and
know,
fuzzy
that
socks.
Jeff and Billy.
Exactly.
Oh,
So
man.
right now, people are texting in pictures of their dogs in light of
Hey!
Kato's
Oh, I
coffee.
can't wait. I'm so good.
The Janet
Yes.
posted in a picture of her rescued dog Tilly.
Dude, that's a
Pugs,
pug. That's a pug boxer.
Boxer mix.
Yeah, I like the brindling. It's got the brindle coat. I'm a fan of the brindled pugs. I just think they look really cool.
Suzanne texted in lots of love to your dog,
Aw,
Bill.
thank
Give
you.
her a kiss
Appreciate
for me.
that.
Hey,
Aw,
in
so
light
sweet.
of our new sponsor, Kato's Coffee, which is coffee all about dogs and for dog lovers and going back to help dogs and all that stuff, katoscoffee.com, KATOSKOFFEE.com. Hey, text in a picture of your dog.
Yeah,
this
let
morning
us see
we'd
your
love
doggos.
to see that. Text line 720-819-5115, 720-819-5115. Love to see pictures of your pups this morning. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. It's dogs are real special. Dogs have a real important place in my heart. I mean, I have cats too, and I've loved cats, but yeah, dogs. There's something different. There's something different about that companionship. That's really really cool. I would love to see your doggos.
9757, older white guys talking about newfangled tech. Love it. LOL.
I had to make excuses in case everything falls apart this morning because it feels like it. Hey, do I need to give you a little cue here?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Oh,
like-
you want to
yeah.
out cue there? I'm sorry.
Yeah, who cares? You know.
Just playing that little light golf clap.
Yeah,
And I interrupted
that'd be
it.
kind of nice.
Oh, that's right. That's how it all
Oh
started.
yeah, that's where we went awry this morning. At least it's Jeff's fault this time rather than me. Mostly it's me.
If I knew what I was doing, I'd bring up the golf clap again, but I can't do it because I'm on Windows.
Can't find
I
it.
can't do it. It's just like, whatever. Okay.
this is going to be great.
Jeff and Bill continue. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
A typical way to start July here for Denver in the Front Range. Warm temperatures, partly cloudy skies, and a few thunderstorms. Highs today near 90. A few widely scattered afternoon and evening thunderstorms. Lows tonight near 60. Warming to the low to mid-90s Wednesday. An isolated thunderstorm late. A better chance of thunderstorms, 80s and low 90s Thursday. Upper 80s with a few late-day thunderstorms for the 4th of July Friday. Weather sponsored by Colorado's Best Roofing, reminding you to protect your home from the harsh Colorado weather and schedule your free, no-obligation roof inspection today at roofingcolorado.com. That's roofingcolorado.com. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Y'all are rocking it this morning, man. Look at
A
all
typical way
these
to start
pictures.
July here for Denver in the Front Range.
Suzanne's got a beautiful pup. Jacqueline, Lisa, and Castle Rock. Y'all are rocking it. Way to go. Thank you.
And I
Sharing
love seeing the
pictures of dogs this
variety
morning.
of
Yeah.
the dogs. I mean, and again, I'm going to misspell this right now, but love. I got the Basenji mix that's coming in. That's fantastic. Basenjis, I just texted back. Such an underappreciated breed. They are really, really cool. And again, Suzanne, that Sheba. Oh, she's majestic. Shiba Inus are fantastic. They're really, really neat dogs. They've got really funny, quirky personalities. This is fantastic. I love seeing all of your family members. This is so cool. Oh, wow, look at that one. Okay, sorry, I'm going to go look at the picture.
Bill's going to be thumbing through these. Lots of them, too. You can text in at 720-819-5115. So, saw this headline, Bill, and I bring this up because this is something that I fought passionately against, and it may be changing, and I'd love to hear from our listeners on this issue. Doctor-assisted suicide in the state of Colorado. So if you remember, this was passed by voters a few years ago, and this was 2016 is when this passed. I was running the think tank at Colorado Christian University at the time, teamed up with the Archdiocese of Denver, and we pushed back on this. And I went down and at one point sat down with the Denver Post and explained to them why doctor-assisted suicide is a really bad idea. And they agreed with me. The one time I got the Denver Post to agree with me in an editorial was on doctor-assisted suicide, because at the time there was evidence coming out from places like Oregon that insurance companies were denying life-extending treatments for like cancer patients, for instance, but approving doctor-assisted suicide. So they were willing to go out there and decline, treatment that might be expensive, that would take, maybe 5 or 10 years to provide somebody, but they were, oh yeah, the pills to kill you? Oh yeah, we'll prove that. So I thought this was going to be a disaster, and lo and behold, there's now lawsuits about it. Here's the headline out of the Denver Post. Disability rights groups are suing Colorado, challenging medical aid in dying law. 4 disability rights organizations and a Littleton woman are challenging Colorado's medical aid and dying law, arguing it discriminates against people with disabilities by allowing them to die by suicide instead of preventing it. The complaint filed this week in U.S. District Court argues that the law's requirements that someone have a terminal illness to access lethal medication means that only people with disabilities will receive a prescription rather than a referral to suicide prevention services. It also says the law's requirement that providers discuss alternatives to dying is inadequate. Plaintiff Mary Gossman, 26 years old, said she feared being steered towards medical aid and dying option if she needed hospital care again for her anorexia and depression. Grossman's illness is currently under control, according to the lawsuit. The medical aid and dying law doesn't automatically require a mental health assessment unless the provider has concerns that the patient may not be competent enough to seek lethal medication. The law, quote, assumes that a request for assisted suicide is not an indication of a mental disorder when other Colorados make precisely the opposite assumption for virtually everyone else, the complaint says. The other plaintiffs are the United Spinal Association, a group called Not Dead Yet. That's a group that I got a chance to work with, who was saying that this is going to encourage people with terminal diseases to kill themselves as opposed to get treatment, even if it takes a long time, because it's much more costly. And then the Institute for Patients' Rights and Atlantis Adapt, the Colorado Attorney General's Office, State Medical Board, and the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, and a spokesperson for Governor Jared Polis declined to comment, saying they don't speak about pending litigation. Voters approved Proposition 106 in 2016, creating Colorado's medical aid and dying program. Last year, lawmakers shortened the waiting time to 1 week, down from 15 days, for people who are expected to die in the next 6 months. An exception allows for an immediate prescription if a provider believes the patient would die naturally in the next 48 hours. The state health department reported 510 people received a prescription for medical aid and dying in 2024. The most common condition listed was cancer, which affected 58% of those who qualified for the medication. 18 people received a prescription because of, quote, severe protein calorie malnutrition, end quote, which could include eating disorders. So 18 people received these drugs because of eating disorders. Last year, 313 people opted to pick up the medication, and 429 people who received a prescription died. Both numbers could include people who qualified the previous year. The tally of those who died included people who opted not to take the prescriptions and died of natural causes. Part of the problem with this law, Bill, is that we don't know how many people will actually take the pills because you're specifically prevented from listing on their death certificate doctor-assisted suicide. You cannot. You're prevented by law from putting in suicide. Coroners are there, so you don't really know how many people take this or not. But question I raised to our listeners, question I raised to you, and would love to hear from you. I'll give you the phone number here in a second. Is doctor-assisted suicide good for the state of Colorado? Is this a compassionate treatment, as those that were promoting it in 2016 said? I think one of the organizations was Compassion and Dying or something like that. Or, as this lawsuit argues, this is steering people with terminal illnesses towards suicide as opposed to coming up with suicide counseling and those other things, and that this is a real problem from the state of Colorado. Would love to hear from you. 303-696-1971, or text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line, 720-819-5115. Do you know somebody that's utilized doctor-assisted suicide? I do. It was not somebody I knew personally, but their parent. So they talked about it on Facebook and kind of how the family went through the process and all that stuff. I fundamentally disagree with doctor-assisted suicide, not only for what it does to what it communicates to people that are dealing with terminal illnesses, that you should just kill yourself. And that's why I think these lawsuits are right. But I also think it sends a message, particularly to young people, that suicide's acceptable. I mean, we made it legal in this state. And so if you're going through tough times, sure, look, the adults are doing it. Why shouldn't I? And I may not take a pill, but could cut my wrists, could overdose on pills, could shoot myself. Look, state made it legal. So why can't I do it? Bill, your thoughts?
Yeah, the problem I have behind it is it's the insurance companies and the profit motive. That's really
Correct.
What it is.
100%.
And that's my argument fundamentally, from the 10,000 foot view. That's my argument against our insurance structure in the country. Now, I am going to come back down to this issue, but just for a second, understand that the way that insurance in our country is organized, one, you don't have a choice because it is attached to your employer. They make the choice for you. Second, the insurance company is set up as a business where the last thing that they want on the planet is for you to actually use their service. So that would be opening up a restaurant and praying to God every day that nobody walks through the door. That would be opening up a car dealership and hoping that nobody buys a car. That would be opening up a tattoo parlor and being depressed when someone walks through the door and wants a tattoo, because they make money when you don't use the service. So the idea of them taking care of you and giving you the medical care and treatment that you need, they are disincentivized to do that. That's why we fight with insurance companies over this stuff, because they're not really interested in making you feel better. They're interested in you not being sick and not paying for it when you do get sick or injured. That's it. That's why they're super happy to do this stuff on the front end, because they'll talk about lowering premiums and stuff. But when you get into an accident or some sort of medical issue, they don't want to pay. So this is an actuarial table. You know how we talked about the idea during Obamacare of death panels and that someone's going to decide whether you live or die? Here it is. This is it. This is exactly it. However, it's not Obamacare that's doing this. It's the system. It is the system that we have set up that's doing this, that is making this choice, that has decided that this life has a dollar value at this point, and we don't want to invest any more in it because we don't see the benefit, especially at the tail end. This person, this customer, there is something inside of advertising, inside of corporations, that is called the total life value of the customer. Meaning
Correct.
that if you can get someone to buy your product at 25, that's much more valuable than someone to buy your product at 55, because that 25-year-old has a whole lot more years to buy more of your product than that 55-year-old. That's why advertising falls off, except for adult diapers and walk-in showers at a certain demographic age. That's all you're going to see, because they're not worried about how many more times you're going to go to McDonald's, because they know you only have so many trips left. They're going to concentrate on the people that have more trips than you. Yeah, it sucks. Jeff and I are rapidly screaming towards that demographic, just like a lot of you. So we get it. We understand that frustration. But this is the insurance company putting a dollar amount and a dollar figure on your life. Remember, prior to Obamacare, the insurance company was able to cap lifetime benefits, meaning that they put a number on your life saying, we think you are total $100,000. Over the course of your life, that's all your health care is ever worth to us. So this is what we're getting to. So it's wrong. And this is the profit motive from the insurance companies deciding that it is very expensive to take care of this disabled person, and it'd be much, much easier if they were just gone. Then we don't have to pay for anything else, because they're super expensive versus everybody else that's out there. So this is an investment advantage for them to off some of their customers. Yeah. This is completely and totally wrong, and this is part of the problem contained therein. I have a difficulty. I understand what you're saying about suicide being legal and being encouraged. there's a part of me, though, that understands at the end of life, if it is so miserable, do I need to force them to stay, or can they make that choice to leave? That's hard for me because, again, I'm a real stickler for a lot of independent liberty and individual decisions, and I have a hard time saying that I'm going to make this decision about what your life should be. That's why we have conversations with my parents, my in-laws, about what their wishes are when they go through surgery, even when they travel. But that's the issue, is I have a hard time. I want to respect your wishes, not impose those on me, impose my wishes on you.
I think there's an important distinction to draw between do not resuscitate and
that's good. Yes.
Being on a ventilator when you're brain dead, right, and just kind of keeping it humming along. That's different in my mind when life has taken its natural course towards death. Versus taking pills to stop a heart. And
that's fair. That's good.
And I see them in all this context, and I think you and I share this, that we're not the authors of life. There's a God who authors life. And I understand somebody being in tremendous pain towards the end of their lives and having an option to go out. And I don't want to dismiss that. I think what would, honestly, and I try to put myself in that position of going, all right, I'm in a tremendous amount of pain. I just want to be done. I'm over. There's a paradise on the other side of this, heaven. I'm just over this world. What would keep me from taking the pill would be the message it sends to my kids and grandkids. And that's me, right? That's what I think would stop me from doing that, is because I don't want to send the message to them that when life's very hard and difficult, that the way out of this is to just embrace death. I don't think that that's a message I want to send to my children and grandchildren. But join the conversation. Would love to hear from you. 303-696-1971. Text the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. Let's talk L&L Heating and Air Conditioning, guys. It's hot out there, 94 degrees today. If your air conditioning is acting up, if you're having problems with all of the energy coming in and the amount of work that's being put through your air conditioner to try to keep your house cool, if you got issues, call L&L Heating and Air Conditioning. Absolutely love this company. We tried one of those big corporate brands. Terrible customer service. Hated working with them. With L&L Heating and Air Conditioning, it's a locally mom and pop operated company where I have visited with the owners. They came out on a Sunday to deal with something we were dealing with. I didn't even ask them to come out on Sunday. I said, you can wait till Monday. Don't worry about it. No, Jeff, we'll take care of it today. No problem. Great company. L&L Heating and Air Conditioning. Our house totally comfortable no matter what the weather. We got peace of mind with them. Here's the deals they got going on right now. Free programmable thermostat or carbon monoxide detector with new furnace or air conditioner installation. No emergency charges. $0 trip fee. Price match value guarantee on equipment. Free estimates. Licensed and insured. And a 5-year labor warranty. Everything works great. Our family couldn't be happier. So if you're looking for fast, honest, and reliable service, I highly recommend L&L Heating and Air Conditioning. Here's their phone number, 720-851-1691. Online at bestdenverhvac.com. That's bestdenverhvac.com. I'm sure glad we called him. That number again, 720-851-1691. We'll continue with your phone calls and texts. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. A new lawsuit against the state of Colorado disability rights groups suing the state, challenging the doctor-assisted suicide law, alleging the law is discrimination based upon disability. What are your thoughts? Let's go to the phone lines. Tony Littleton. Good morning, Tony. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Today's topic has a lot of common threads with yesterday's topic about care for the transgendered children, and then it also has ties to the big beautiful bill. I mean, they're all kind of linked together in a way. I come from a place that I'm going to trust the doctor and the patient and the family to make that call. I don't think the government needs to be involved in any way, shape, or form.
How about the insurance company? Because that's one of the arguments is that they're profit motivated. Do you trust them?
So this is I'm going through a case that it deals exactly with this insurance issue. So my wife was diagnosed a couple years ago with stage 4, given 1 year. We're getting incredibly good care. She had Medicare. Although she's younger, she was disabled, so she had Medicare. And I'd always had a supplemental policy on top of her from United. I'll say that. I won't say the hospital that's treating her, because the things I'm about to say about the hospital. But she she has absolutely the best possible coverage you can get. So early in this process, her body was rejecting the infusion chemo. First 90, 120 days was just a nightmare. And it was like, oh my God, is this what we're going to go through, to the end, be it sometime inside a year. But because of her insurance, she was eligible for targeted drug therapy. And this targeted drug therapy has worked unbelievably well. Cancers have all stopped growing, and the cancers that are there are now declining.
Oh,
she's still stage 4, and she'll always be stage 4, but it'll never go into remission. But she's doing really well. Now the pills that she's on are $1,000 a day.
Wow.
$1,000 a day. And because we have this insurance policy, she's covered. Now we get a call every 6 months prior to the cancer, every 6 months from United Health saying, hey, we got a cheaper plan for you that'll maybe fit you better. And we finally got a call from one of their people, and they said, I see what plan you have. I didn't tell you this. Don't ever give this plan up. We don't make this plan. We don't offer this plan. You are grandfathered in on this plan. Without that plan, she would not be getting this care. Then we know some people who are going through cancer as well, and they're on Medicaid. And they don't get half the treatment that my wife gets. And we feel guilty, on a certain level. She gets scanned every 60, 90 days, meets with, got a panel of oncologists 6 deep. The research of the hospital research department is studying her case because she's doing so well, and all of this is because she's insured to the hilt. People who are on Medicaid get far less. Yeah. They'd never see this drug. And now with this bill, these people are going to lose even what they've got. Now, if I'm in their shoes, in our shoes, we would want that right to say, okay, this is I've gone far enough. I've gone long enough. I don't need to fight this anymore. We've got children and grandchildren. I feel for those people who have far less coverage, and if they say they've had enough, that nobody should get in the way of that. And I respect your views, Jeff, about why you would not do that because of your kids and grandkids. But that's your choice. That's your choice, your faith, your whatever motivates you. But your faith, your choice shouldn't be somebody else's faith and somebody else's choice.
Yeah, but I think what we're talking about is what are the broader consequences of this. From my perspective, when you're choosing suicide, you're sending a message, particularly to younger generations, that there's a way out of your problems. It's death. It's called death.
I promise you, when we're a year out from now, we're going to see suicide rates of elderly people escalate dramatically. So when this bill takes effect and these people start losing some of the very thin coverage they've got, they're gonna call it a day. And who are we to get in their way? If you're living on ramen, you're living poor. See, I don't even think it has to be medical. If you are simply so poor, you're about to lose your house. You're not going to have a place to live, and you're already eating ramen, and you keep your house
Tony
at
with
58.
the sky falling on the big beautiful bill. All right, I appreciate it, Tony.
It's not the sky falling on the big beautiful bill.
You choose the news right now,
but that's I hope your wife's doing okay. That's hard. That is really hard.
Thanks for sharing that
so many hard
personal side. Appreciate that, Tony. Disagree on the big, beautiful bill, but we'll get to that with Gabe Evans in the 8 o'clock hour. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. We're going to pivot from doctor-assisted suicide to a little bit of levity.
Yes. We need to clear this up a little bit. Let's have a little bit of fun before we get back to all the serious stuff. It's time to play America's favorite fake radio news game show. This is You Choose the News. You know how we roll? We scour the interwebs for moments this morning to find really dumb stories about us humans. It's really easy. And then to give them even more ridiculous headlines to play this fake radio news game show. Why would we be this silly this time of the morning? Well, it's because nobody in charge is awake at this hour. Yes, we do this at one of the regular normal hours, but then we'd get in trouble. So again, this is a giant secret between you, our listeners, Jeff, myself, and of course, Blake Olson, who joins us every day from the newsroom and is fighting his computer this morning. We're going to have the adventure of technical problems in the next newscast with you. Alrighty. Gentlemen, here are your headline choices this morning. Headline number 1, guitarist goes rogue. Headline number 2, count sheep, not cows. Headline number 3. This is headline 3, yes. I don't know how to say this one. Let's not do that one right now. Okay, headline number 3, we're going to go riff. Reading is fundamental. And headline number 4, let's go with monetary fallout.
Start with count sheep, not cows.
All right, count sheep, not cows. A brand new Canadian study says if you're consuming dairy before going to bed, the likelihood of restless sleep or nightmares has increased. This happened to be published in the Frontiers in Psychology Today. They examined some self-reported links between eating habits and gastrointestinal discomfort and dreaming in more than 1,000 students at a university in Edmonton. Yes, it is self-reported, so it is only the first step in this type of research, but about a third of the respondents said they had regular nightmares, and primarily when they would ingest dairy before going to bed. Now, not all of them are having that warm glass of milk. A lot of it has to do with desserts. That's where they were finding the dairy. So you're having that little bit of ice cream or something else before you go to bed. A lot of our desserts contain dairy, and they said that so far, again, it's a self-reported study of just about 1,000 students, but so far it looks like one of the commonalities of restless sleep and even nightmares seems to be the cow juice. Yeah.
There you go.
I know. So again, if you have restless sleep or something else, maybe examine that part of your dietary and nutritional needs. Okay, Blake Olson, sir. Guitarist goes rogue, reading is fundamental, or monetary fallout?
Reading is fundamental.
You remember doing that, the riff. Yes, you and I both, man. Yes, the reading challenges.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. Now, maybe Travis Kelce could have spent some more time with Riff. Recently, he shared a story about when he hosted Saturday Night Live back in 2023. He said, doing the show was a lot of fun, but there was one thing that was really, really difficult for him. It was taking part in the table read rehearsal. Because he admits he doesn't read that well. Reading is hard for Travis.
I believe that. He went to Cincinnati.
High five. Nicely done. Nicely done. And now
that's only because I have friends that went to school
awesome.
there.
That is fantastic. The writer's room, he said, was a lot of fun. They're pitching you ideas and stuff. But he said he was so stressed during the table read because he couldn't get into character or anything else. He was just trying to get the words right. He kept thinking in his mind, don't effing this up. Don't F this up. Don't F this up.
That's what we all think when we had to do the public reading when we were kids.
Yes,
remember?
exactly. He said it's a lot of fun.
Welcome to my world. Every morning.
Yes.
Every morning,
Blake,
Don't
your
mess this
choice.
up.
Guitarist goes rogue or monetary fallout?
Monetary fallout.
Monetary fallout. Underwear brand Shinesti has approached American hurdler Chris Robinson after an unfortunate wardrobe malfunction during his recent 400-meter hurdle race. Little Chris fell out during the race. Routinely, over and over again. But 2 different underwear companies were so impressed, they've offered him a modeling contract. Ka-ching.
Wow.
That's it. Back to you, sir. End of You Choose the News.
We'll continue. 7 o'clock hour, we're going to talk about this British band not coming to America. You're listening to Jeff and Bill.
KNUS.